Cyberpunk Phantom Liberty, mid-tempo. The new course is available at Letsynthesize Academy.
Yo, there Letsyn here, welcome to the new Synthesize Academy episode, and today I want to talk about future drum and bass. Like always, you can grab this project from my Patreon below with tons of other very cool stuff, and click here for my academy. I have a noisy style drum and bass masterclass, but right now let's jump into it. Right, so here is this little beat once again. So it's very simple, but it doesn't matter because you want to learn. So the drums is pretty straightforward. A kick and a snare. So this is a filtered snare. As you can see, I use a high pass filter and some cut in the mid to get a little more into the clappy direction, and this is important for this style. And I have a neural glitch sample that acts like a percussion, and also the tops. Pretty straightforward, but altogether it's a very cool minimalistic beat. So the basses. This is section A and this is section B. The first section has a call and response relationship. So we start with the boom 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 bum 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 bum. The boom boom boom, the vocal bass is the call. And the response is the stabby, the plucky basses. In the next section, in section B, it is the same thing, but this time section B.2 and A.2, so these guys, are again in a call and response relationship, because this is bum 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 bum. So these are again in a call and response relationship, and that is important if you want to grab something cool. So let's start with this sound that is not so obvious, but it's so cool because this plays a really important role on the snare. It basically fills up the background, but you can't really tell what it is. It's just there and adds some very cool space to this whole beat. So it is coming from Serum and Serum, so that is Native Instruments. Very cool reverb plugin. I have a ReadyMS and the saw phase rework too. They are in FM relationship, and the low pass filter. Otherwise it will be just a noisy kind of thing. Okay, and in the FX we have some voices with the hyper dimension on the chorus, and the reverb, delay, distortion, and the EQ to chop off the lows. And distortion is not even important. So as you can see, the sound itself is pretty simple. Now let's go with the main vocal. I have a noise layer that is basically just a compressed sine, so a sine and the noise on top of each other. And inside the filter, I'm using a soft shaper, and I just kill all the unnecessary frequencies here, as you can see. So this is the stereo layer of the sound, but the vocal. So as you can see, I'm using this FM chain, where the main output is oscillator A, but I modulate it with oscillator B and D at the same time. So D creates the vocal. That, as you can see, only the pitch movement by LFO. And I created a tone with oscillator B and C. First a growl layer, and the higher chorus with this shape, with this envelope, create the growly sound. And some cut on the very highs, and basically we are done. This is the vocal, but what is important is oscillator D and the LFO to create the vocal. And it is so cool because we are not moving the volume of the sound, only some modulation on top of the whole stuff. So with oscillator D. Okay, I have a roar bass as an ending section or ending part for the vocal. So as you can hear, they are in a very nice relationship. And again, it is crazy simple. A sine and modulated by another sine on chorus 3 with this envelope, and another one on chorus 2. Okay, let's go with the step bass. This is basically just a simple bass house preset. So I have this waveform and MG Low creates the pluckiness and a pitch movement. So add some punch to the sound, some hyperdimension, some distortion, an OTT and a reverb and the low pass filter again to the end. Ouch, because we don't want these very intense high. Okay, so I had to add a layer on top of that. This is a sort of percussion-y sound where the tone is created by the comb filter. Now, as you can see, it's very simple, minus 3 octaves on the square, plus 3 octaves on the saw, and they are FMing each other. So oscillator A is FM'd by the sub, and B is by oscillator A. So boom, super easy stuff. And the HP filter to boost the little interest in the mids. And as I told you before, the comb filter is creating the tone. And because I use a macro on the cutoff, I can squeeze out different tones out of this sound very, very easily. And there is one more sound, the ending FM. So as you can see again, the simplest FM chain. Start with a sine, with another sine, with this envelope to create the movement, whom, and then another sine and another sine. So it's crazy, crazy simple, but with some pitch envelope. I added some transient to it, and EQ, reverb. So basically this is crazy, crazy simple, but all together works great on huge speakers. Right, so grab this project from my Patreon below where you can find millions of very cool stuff, and click here for the Noisy drum and bass masterclass. See you guys next time. Peace.